Welcome to Seeing Green Solutions for Our Daily Lives, the podcast where we spotlight the brands, ideas, and people making it easier to live sustainably every day. Today's episode is part of our Spotlight series, a deep dive into one of our Seeing Green Solutionists of the day. And now, today's solution.
Welcome back, everyone. This is our deep dive for episode 48.
And today's segment is part of our Seeing Green Spotlight series.
Right, where we zero in on a solutionist of the day who is bringing, real tangible solutions to help us live healthier and greener lives.
And if you enjoy this kind of analysis, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, and you can always join the Seeing Green community over at seeinggreen.eco.
Or follow us at Seeing Green Eco across social media. Speaking of which, I was just scrolling through Pinterest this week. Our page is really starting to grow.
Oh, me too. It's actually kind of amazing to see it all laid out like that visually.
It is. We're getting close to 1,000 pins of inspiration already.
1,000. That's incredible. And it's all organized in boards by category, which I, for one, really appreciate. If you haven't checked it out, go find it at Seeing Green Eco on Pinterest.
Definitely. So today we are returning to a topic that is always, always popular: sustainable food and drinks.
Specifically, plant-based alternatives to dairy.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground here before. We've talked about brands like Morningstar Farms, Prime Roots, Barnana,
Good Sam Foods, Next Level Veggie Grill. I mean, the list goes on. And the website has, over 35 more brands featured?
Plus all the recipes. So if this is your area of interest, there's a lot to explore.
But today, the spotlight is on a company that's really seen as one of the pioneers in this space.
Califia Farms.
They didn't just join the plant-based movement. You could argue they really helped create it.
So our mission today is to really unpack what makes them such a major force in changing our food system.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. Who exactly are they?
Well, the company was founded back in 2010 by Greg Steltenpole. He actually did it in partnership with a farmer co-op right in the San Joaquin Valley in California.
So a true California-born brand. The name even comes from Califia, the mythical queen from the state's origin stories.
Exactly, and they made a splash right away. I think we all remember that bottle.
Oh, yeah. That curvy bottle. It stood out so much from all the square cartons in the dairy aisle. That had to be a deliberate choice.
Absolutely. It was a visual signal that this was something different, and it worked. Today, they're one of the fastest-growing beverage companies in the natural channel.
And the top plant-based brand in that space. Right?
The top brand. Their whole mission is built around creating a future where plants replace dairy. But, and this is the most important part of their promise, they do it without compromise.
Without compromise. Let's dig into that, because for a long time, the biggest barrier for people wasn't just taste, was it?
No, not at all. It was performance. It was a performance failure.
Right.
Early plant milks would curdle in your coffee. They wouldn't bake right. It was frustrating for people. Califia saw that gap.
So it wasn't just about selling another almond milk. It was about engineering something better. They knew they had to win over dairy drinkers, not just vegans, by making the switch totally seamless and, genuinely enjoyable.
And they back that up. It's one thing to say your product works in a recipe, but they have, over 300 recipes online?
Yeah, which is a huge commitment. It completely removes the friction. It shows you exactly how to integrate the swap into your life.
And that idea, that seamless integration, that really feels like the key to their entire portfolio.
It is. They didn't just make one milk. They built a whole universe of products for every single dairy use case you can imagine.
Okay, so let's break that universe down. Because I think to really get the strategy, you have to look across these 7 categories they're playing in.
Right, let's do it. We have to start with the cornerstone.
Plant milks.
Plant milks, this is the foundation. Almond, oat, coconut, and all these innovative blends.
And these aren't just for drinking, are they?
No, that's the whole point. They're engineered for total versatility. So cooking, baking, smoothies, cereal, you name it.
And I think the angle here is simplicity, too. I was looking at their organic, unsweetened almond milk. It's just 3 ingredients: water, organic almonds, and sea salt. That's it.
And that is a huge differentiator in a market that's often full of stabilizers and gums. It's a massive win with the clean label consumer.
Absolutely. So from there, where do we go next?
Well, you have to go to the morning ritual. We're talking about creamers.
Of course.
This is their dairy-free option for every coffee drinker out there, whether your coffee is hot or iced. The whole focus is on a smooth, creamy, rich flavor.
And often without the gums or oils that can sometimes give plant-based creamers a weird texture.
Exactly. And they also use creamers to generate excitement. It's not just vanilla. You see things like an organic pistachio almond creamer.
I even saw a limited edition birthday cake almond creamer. I mean, that's just pure marketing genius to grab your eye on the shelf.
It keeps the brand fun and relevant. But if we want to talk about serious market capture, we have to talk about the barista blends.
Okay, so this is a step beyond just a creamer you'd use at home.
A huge step. These are specifically formulated for professional cafe use.
And this is where that performance promise is really put to the test.
It is. This is the big one. The oat barista blend, for example. It has to froth, foam, and steam perfectly every time. For lattes, for cappuccinos.
Because if you can capture the cafe market, that sends a huge signal of legitimacy to the regular consumer.
That's the strategy. Once you trust it in your barista's hands, you'll trust it in your kitchen.
Which leads right into their next category, right? Coffees and teas.
Exactly. The ready-to-drink segment. This is for recreating that cafe experience at home with zero effort and zero dairy.
So we're talking cold brews, lattes in a bottle.
Yep. Pure black coffees, matcha lattes. And again, that simplicity is still there. Their pure black cold brew is just 2 ingredients, water and Arabica coffee beans.
Okay, so we've covered the beverage side of things pretty well.
Yeah.
But the real holdouts for dairy are often serious home cooks and bakers.
The ones who need that perfect one-to-one replacement for function.
Right, which is where their kitchen companions line comes in.
Exactly. This is the fulfillment of that versatility promise.
Mm-hmm.
You've got products like Better Half, which is a half-and-half substitute,
And Heavy Whip.
and Heavy Whip, designed to replace whipping cream. They are directly targeting those recipes where you absolutely cannot fail. They're leaving no use case behind.
Smart. What's next?
Then you have the lighter side, the creamy refreshers.
This sounds different.
It is. Think lighter, fruit-forward drinks. They're made with real fruit juice and just a little bit of coconut cream, so it's more of a sweet treat.
Kind of a modern alternative to, I don't know, a super sugary juice.
Mm.
And you can use them in mocktails, I see.
Perfect for that. And then finally, to round it all out, you have the seasonal items.
This keeps the brand dynamic.
Totally. These are the limited time things, the horchatas, the pumpkin spice creamers. It ensures they can replace dairy across your entire year for every tradition without you ever feeling like you're missing out.
Wow. When you lay it all out like that, you really see the market dominance strategy. It's comprehensive.
It is. Okay, so let's connect this back to us, to the personal benefits. Why is this so good for you?
Well, the health benefits are pretty significant. A dairy-free lifestyle can support heart health. It helps maintain healthy cholesterol.
And it's a solution for a huge part of the population. What is it? Something like 60% of people globally have some level of lactose sensitivity?
Over 60%. Yeah, it's a massive group. And their products use really simple ingredients, things rich in vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients.
I saw their organic unsweetened almond milk has, 3 ingredients?
Just 3. Water, organic almonds, and sea salt. And they're really leaning into organic. In 2024, they quadrupled the amount of USDA-certified organic ingredients they used compared to the year before.
And organic foods can have way more antioxidants.
Up to 69% more, according to some studies. So the personal health benefits are clear.
But when you zoom out from the individual to the collective, that's where the impact becomes staggering. This is where a simple choice in the grocery aisle becomes everyday climate action.
This is the real aha moment. There was a global study. It showed that if just half the world switched from dairy to plant-based milk for 1 year, the savings are just monumental.
Okay, break it down for us.
You would avoid 189,000 metric tons. You'd free up 215,000 acres of land.
Wow.
And you'd save 10.6 billion gallons of water.
10.6 billion gallons. That's almost impossible to visualize. It's like the annual drinking water for 145 million people.
From just one simple switch. I mean, the DNA of their product is inherently sustainable. Plant-based foods account for just 29% of food emissions, while animal-based foods are up at 57%.
But they don't stop there, right? They're also working on their own operational footprint.
Exactly. Their main manufacturing facility in Bakersfield runs on renewable electricity. They also have a zero-waste goal and hit 76% landfill diversion this year.
That's diverted. What was the total?
12.5 million pounds of waste since 2020.
That's huge, but I want to get into their agricultural work, especially with the almond growers. The source material mentions something called biochar. What is that?
Okay, this is where it gets really innovative. They're working with their almond partners to build one of the first biochar facilities in the industry.
So what is it?
Biochar is basically a special kind of charcoal made from agricultural waste, like almond hulls. You mix it back into the soil, and it acts like a giant sponge.
A sponge for what? Water.
For water, yes, it improves soil retention massively.
Mm.
But crucially, it also sequesters carbon for the long term. It locks it away in the ground.
So you're improving water efficiency, making crops more resilient, and fighting climate change. That's a triple win.
It's a brilliant circular solution.
Let's talk about another circular solution. Their packaging, specifically rPET.
In 2024, they moved to 100% rPET for all their bottles in the US and Canada. But what's really cool is how they're thinking about the end of the bottle's life.
I was so fascinated by this. The trial with magnetizable label coatings. It sounds like sci-fi.
It kind of is. But it's a practical engineering solution.
Yeah.
They're basically giving the bottle a magnetic signature.
So a machine at the recycling plant can just pull it out of the stream.
Exactly. It allows for faster, more accurate sorting. That improves the purity of the recycled plastic, which makes it much easier to actually, close the loop and turn it back into a new bottle.
Incredible. Okay, let's pivot to the people side of things. It's not just about planets and plastic.
No, it's not. Internally, they have a really inclusive culture. 55% of their senior leadership team are women.
And then their work in the community.
They're really active in Los Angeles and Bakersfield. They work with what they call food justice partners, which means getting nutritious food into communities that lack access. They donated over 1 million servings of their products this past year.
I also love their focus on the next generation, the college campus outreach program.
Oh yeah, placing plant milk dispensers in over 150 college dining halls.
Which is such a smart strategy.
It is. Because it makes the sustainable choice the default choice. It normalizes it for students, like what they're doing with NYU's Plant-Powered Carbon Challenge.
And we have to mention the marketing, the Green Album by Califia Farms.
The album with Chris O'Dowd doing meditations for your plants.
It's so perfectly, wonderfully weird.
It is, but it's also purpose-driven. For every stream of that album, they plant a tree with 1 tree planted. Their goal is 25,000 trees. It's fun, it's memorable, and it reinforces their whole mission.
So let's bring it all together for you, the listener. Why does a brand like Califia Farms matter so much?
I think it's because they solved the performance problem. They made the plant-based option taste great and work perfectly.
Which means we can lower our climate footprint without any real disruption to our daily lives. No compromise.
Right. They just seamlessly blend sustainability, taste, and convenience. They show that when you make the green option the easiest and best-tasting option, you can shift mainstream habits on a massive scale.
Okay, so here's the final thought for you to chew on. If a beverage company can integrate these really complex long-term innovations like building biochar facilities and developing magnetic recycling tech, how quickly will these things stop being innovations and just become the expected mandated standard for the entire global food industry?
That is a powerful question to think about.
To learn more about Califia Farms, you can visit them at califiafarms.com.
And if you're interested in creating a greener life, check out our other deep dives, the Spotlight series and the Greening My series. And please subscribe while you're there.
You can also join the Seeing Green community. Just sign up on our website where you can see all the trailblazers we feature. That's online at www.seeinggreen.eco.
And don't forget to follow us at Seeing Green Eco across social media for all the latest tips. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Blue Sky, TikTok, LinkedIn, and yes, Pinterest. We're everywhere.
Thank you for joining us for this Seeing Green Spotlight Series deep dive.
Until next time, keep seeing green.